Hey, everybody, it looks like we are live. Welcome to the workshop today. I'm so excited to have you. So let me just make sure that this is looking good over here. Got a little test screen on the side. And I think we're in business. I think we're looking good. So excited to have all of you here today and to chat with you about how to create epic content from your blog and for your blog and for the emails that you create for your email subscribers as well. So if we have never met before, and let me know if you can hear me too. I've been having some issues with my microphone, so I want to make sure that that is working all good. Okay, I see people saying they can hear me, so it sounds like we're doing good. So if we have never met before, my name is Melissa Griffin, and I love helping bloggers and online entrepreneurs to grow their audience, grow their income, and ultimately make a bigger impact on the world and the people that they serve. So with this workshop today, we're going to be talking all about your content. So content, as you'll discover, is the very foundation of everything that you do online. It's what leads you to make sales. It's what leads you to grow an engaged community of people. And it's what leads you to create a full-time business and real impact from your blog online. So I have a very jam-packed presentation to share with you today. I think I have over 100 slides because I like to go quick with everything to make sure that we're really enjoying the workshop and it doesn't feel like boring or anything like that. So I like to go fast. I've got a lot to share. So make sure that you're paying attention, that you've got a notebook out, that you've closed out of your other screens, because even just a minute on Facebook scrolling through your feed there might mean that you'll miss some really key information today. So make sure that you're here, you're present, and you're ready to learn. So real quick, I would love to see where everyone's tuning in from. I know a lot of people have been leaving comments in the chat already, letting me know that they're from London, Italy, New Jersey, Ireland. Such an international group. I love it. Indiana, Florida, Canada, Germany, Geneva, Switzerland. Amazing. I love this. So let me know while I start sharing my screen and we will get this party started. All right, everybody. So let me know that you can see my presentation and that we're all looking good here. And I think we're off to the races. So I'm just going to get started and I hope you enjoy today's workshop. It'll last for about 60 to 90 minutes of information and content for you. So the topic of today's workshop is called Your Content System Simplified: How to Create Magnetic Blog Posts and Emails in Less Time to Grow Your Blog and Following. So you're in the right place if you want to learn how to create content that attracts an engaged community of the right people. You're also in the right place today if you've heard that an email list is important, but you're kind of struggling with what to send to your subscribers and how to reduce that newsletter overwhelm, because it can be pretty overwhelming to create blog posts and emails on top of that if you don't have a clear strategy in place. And you're in the right place if you'd love to make money from your blog and you know that great content is the first step to making that happen. So hello again, my name is Melissa Griffin, and when I started my blog, I was living off of $30,000 a year as an English teacher. So this was in 2013, a few years ago, and I was living in Japan, teaching English abroad at the time, and not making very much money, and also just not feeling super happy with my career. Now, I also noticed that I'm wearing the exact same outfit today. I'm a creature of habit, my friends. So my job at the time and my life was leaving me feeling depressed and anxious constantly. I just wasn't happy. I didn't have many close connections. I felt underappreciated and unvalued at my job. It was like I was putting in all this time and effort to be a teacher and to teach my students, but I didn't feel like anyone really cared. I didn't feel like my students cared about what I was doing. And I definitely didn't feel like the other teachers and my bosses really cared about the effort that I was putting in. So it left me to feel very depressed and uncreative and just underappreciated. And then I felt lonely and disconnected from people who I resonated with. So because I was working so much in a job I didn't like, I wasn't seeing a lot of my friends, and I started to feel disconnected from everyone in my life. So it was a really tough time for me. So at that time, I decided to start a blog to really just find a community of people with similar interests online and hopefully to make a little side cash because, like I said, I wasn't earning that much money from my blog at that time, or I'm sorry, from my job at that time. And within a few months of starting my blog, it began to earn just as much as my day job as a teacher. So I decided to quit my job and pursue blogging full time within just a matter of months of starting my blog online, which obviously was not what I expected. I kind of just thought that I'd make a little bit of side cash with my blog and that it would be something fun to do that would make me happier. But it ended up becoming this full-time business in less than a year. So at first with my blog, I started to fumble with outdated methods to grow my blog's income. I kind of thought that these were the things I should be doing if I wanted to make money from my blog. So things like ads, putting ads all over my website, or sponsored posts where I would write a blog post or social media post about a brand and they would pay me for it. And affiliate marketing, where I'd talk about products that I liked and would get a commission if somebody purchased those products. So I used these methods in that first year, but I wasn't really earning a whole lot of money from them. And it seemed like a lot of work to use these methods for very little payoff. And I was also kind of feeling weird about it because I was working so hard to create great content. And the whole point was to send people away from my site by clicking ads, clicking on the brand in a sponsored post, or clicking an affiliate link. And I was kind of wondering, like, what's the point of all of this? So eventually I switched my business model and I decided to create and sell online courses. And when I did that, my income completely skyrocketed. So in my third year of blogging, my blog earned over $1 million. And this year it'll be a multi-million-dollar business, which is kind of crazy to think about because I started a blog in 2013, not even knowing what I was doing. But it's totally possible to do this with a blog. So what has my blog done for my life in that time span that I've started it? Well, it's allowed me to connect with thousands of incredible people all over the world in meetups, masterminds, people that have become close friends of mine, and even people that I work with. These are some of the amazing people that I work with who are on my team, and we even just went on a retreat to Mexico together just to bond and get to know each other better in person. Super fun. My blog has also given me freedom to travel when I want to. So in just a couple of weeks, I'm going to Columbus, Ohio. Then after that, I'm going to New York and Necker Island. And I have all of these fun trips planned because my business is online and allows me to have that freedom to do the things that I want to do without worrying about my job or any kind of obligation that I have to stay home for. My blog has also allowed me to raise charities. I'm actually leaving later this week to go to Ghana to work with one of the charities that we raise money for. So I love using my blog as a vehicle to give back just as much as a way for me to create a business and help other people do that too. And my blog has helped me enter one of the happiest periods of my entire life. So like I told you, a few years ago, I was working as a teacher. I would come home crying and just feel completely worthless, to be honest. I didn't feel like I had a place in the world and that I had something to be happy about with my career. But now my blog makes me happy every single day. And it feels like I've entered this period where anything feels possible in life. And this is after years of feeling anxious, depressed, and battling with a lot of different insecurities. And all of this change was possible because I started a blog. I still think of it as one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. And I share all of that with you because I feel like all of that is possible for you and your blog too. And I really want to help you change the way that you think about your blog, because it's not just a little hobby. It's not just a little side project that you're scared to tell people about. It's the beginning of an entire empire and real business that you can create and have that sense of freedom in your own life too. So, like I said, I'm on a mission now to change what it means to be a blogger, because blogging has changed. A lot of bloggers now struggle to grow because they're using outdated methods that just aren't working anymore. Like I said in the beginning, I thought ads, sponsored posts, and affiliate marketing was the way to go, and that's how I would earn money as a blogger. But I soon realized that those methods are really outdated, and they used to work super well, but they just don't anymore. So what else about blogging has changed, and what does that mean for you and your strategy? So what's working now? Well, we're going to talk a lot about that in today's workshop, but I want you to start thinking about that. How has blogging changed, and how can I make sure that I'm using the right strategies in order to grow my audience and make an income from my blog? So are you excited to learn how to rock your own blog? Let's do this. So today's agenda: do you really need a niche, or can you grow a profitable blog without one? How to brainstorm an endless list of epic content for your blog, and the most important things to include in each blog post if you want to grow your following. How to use your blog posts to quickly grow your email list with the right subscribers, and what in the world to send them after they subscribe to your list. So, number one, do you need a niche for your blog? Let's chat. Okay, so yes, I guess you do. So if your blog is too general, then you'll have a tougher time growing the right audience. So you want to make sure that your blog is targeting specific needs and that you're not just talking about general topics. So having a clear niche will help you come up with content and course ideas more easily. So like I said, I started creating courses, and that completely skyrocketed my business selling online courses. So I'll mention online courses throughout this presentation a little bit, just because I think they're a perfect medium for you to monetize your own blog. And a niche will also set you apart from other people doing the same thing. So right now, if you're struggling to grow your blog, or you're thinking, I don't know what I'd create an online course about, or I don't even know what to send my email list, or even I don't know what to write my blog posts about, then the answer is probably that your niche is not specific enough. Because when you go too general, then there's just so many directions you could go in that it becomes confusing and hard to know what exactly your audience needs help with. So instead, start more specific and attract just the people who would be interested in that specific section of your niche, and really rock that as the blog that's about that particular topic. So for example, if you're a travel blogger, you could narrow your niche to traveling on a budget or travel in Southeast Asia. Do you see how travel blogger is way too broad, and traveling on a budget or travel in Southeast Asia are more specific and therefore are going to attract only the people who are interested in those topics? Well, once you do that, it becomes way easier to think of content ideas as well as things that you could sell, like course ideas, because now you've got these specific topics and specific problems that you're helping your audience with. Or if you're a fashion blogger, then you could narrow your niche to luxury fashion or vintage fashion on a budget. So really making sure that you're not jumping all over the place with your topics, and that you're really keeping a consistent thread and theme through everything that you create. So having a niche means that you're helping people with their specific needs, and therefore attracting more people who need help with that specific need rather than a general topic. And the more you do that, the more you create this email list and community of people with similar problems and similar interests that you can help in a really significant way. So how do you narrow your niche? Well, think about what specific topics do you already cover on your blog. Think of your most recent 5 or even 10 blog posts, if you have that many already, and consider what were those blog posts about. So what topics am I already covering in my content? And if you haven't started your blog yet, don't worry. You can start from scratch and use everything that you're learning today to really get off on the right foot. And then think, what are you specifically passionate about within your niche? So if your niche is food and you blog about food, you share recipes, you share health information, think more deeply. What do you love talking about food or whatever your niche is? And really consider, how can you create more content that's exciting and fun for you to write because you're passionate about that topic? Don't ever feel like you have to create content on a topic that you're just not passionate about, especially if you're thinking, well, I should probably write blog posts about that topic because it seems popular, or I know a lot of people will read my blog if I talk about that topic. Because what will happen is you'll just end up getting burnt out and you won't want to do your blog at all anymore. So make sure that you're picking topics that you're excited about and that light you up. And then think about, what types of questions does your audience ask the most? So if they ever leave comments on your blog posts or send you emails or send you messages on social media, take note of the questions that they're asking you or the topics that they seem to want to learn about more and more. Or if you don't have any of that data yet, maybe you don't have any comments or things like that, or you haven't started your blog, you can even go into things like free Facebook groups and see what types of questions your ideal audience is asking about your particular topics, and then use that in order to inform how you can narrow your niche. Okay, so now that you've got a grasp on how to narrow your niche, it's time to create some epic content. So how do you come up with endless content ideas? Well, one strategy I love is called mind mapping. I'm going to show you what this looks like in just a second, but just to describe it real quick, mind mapping is where you write a topic in the center, and then almost like a little spider, you start having these little things come out of that main topic that are kind of related to that topic. So let me kind of walk you through this. So the idea in the middle would be your niche. So let's say that your niche is food. And then things that are branching out of that idea are your categories. So that could be things like nutrition information or recipes, things like that. And then the things branching out from one category, so you don't need to do all of them right now, are the specific questions or problems that people are having related to that particular category. So let's take a look at what this looks like. Let's say you are in the hand lettering and calligraphy niche. So this is what your blog is all about. You teach all types of things related to this topic. So your categories could be things like tools for hand lettering, or how to sell your calligraphy, or watercolor calligraphy, or things like hand lettering for beginners. So these would be your categories on your blog, the kind of overarching umbrella topics that you talk about. And then your actual blog content would stem out of your categories. So let's take hand lettering for beginners as an example. So some of your blog posts could be the calligraphy brush I recommend for beginners, how to hand letter the alphabet, and how to get started when you're new to hand lettering, and an interview with hand letterers about what they wish they knew when they were beginners. So as you can see, using something like a mind map, which is fun and visual to create, but also really helpful because you start to see, okay, these are the topics that I talk about the most. These are kind of the umbrella categories. And I recommend having between 3 and 5 umbrella categories. As you can see here, there are 4. And then from those umbrella categories, using your mind map to start creating blog post topics that are related to that category. So I only did this for one category here, but you would want to do it for all of your different categories. And by the time you're finished, you will have a lot of different content ideas that are catered to your specific niche, and solving a problem for your audience, which means that people are going to want to read it because that's why people read content in the first place. So if you need help thinking of ideas, here are some other suggestions. Tutorials. So think about, what can you teach in regards to your niche and your topic of your blog? What are some tutorials that you can talk about? Or processes. So think about, if you were in the hand lettering niche and you were telling people about the steps to get started with hand lettering, then you could talk about step 1. Here's what you need to do. You go out and you buy your tools and brushes. Step 2 is you start practicing the alphabet. Step 3 is you write your first word. Whatever the steps are in a particular process. But think about those important processes that would be really helpful for your audience to know, or that they're always thinking about or asking about. You could also create blog posts with relevant stories that contain your personal experience with a certain topic. So just kind of going back to the hand lettering niche, maybe you talk about how when you got started with hand lettering, you were not very good. And it was really difficult for you to get started, but you were inspired by a certain person or a certain class, which led you to wanting to do this thing. And now you create hand lettering art online and sell it, and it's a full-time business. People love to hear about your personal experiences in regards to whatever it is that you talk about on your website. Now, you don't want to do stories for every single blog post, because then it becomes more like a lifestyle blog, which is much harder to monetize because there's not as many takeaways that they're getting from your blog post. So you want to make sure you're solving a problem, but you can still inject your posts with stories and some personality too. You can also do interviews. So think about, who can you interview that would have some helpful takeaways for your audience? So maybe it's a famous hand letterer or somebody who's just getting started with calligraphy, and you can interview them about the things that they've learned so far, the things that were tough for them, but that they got through. You could also do roundups. So a roundup is kind of like an interview, but you interview several people and you typically just ask them one question or maybe 2 questions, but I like to keep it really simple. So you have 10, 20 people answer the same question. And these are typically people who have some experience in regards to your topic. And then you include all of their answers in a single blog post. So that gives your blog post a lot of good information inside of it. You can also do list posts. So think, can you share a list of ideas or suggestions, like 6 ways to get started with hand lettering, or 5 things you need to know before you start a vegan diet? So think of some list posts that you can include too. And finally, think about your categories, especially inside of your mind map. Which categories are you neglecting? Which categories have you not written about in a long time? Is it because you're not passionate about them and you need to just get rid of them? Or does it just mean that you need to spend a little extra time creating content for those categories on your website? Once you got that all down, you've created your mind map and you have a lot of blog post ideas, you want to create an editorial calendar. So an editorial calendar is basically just a monthly calendar where you plan out your content topics. So you can use a planner, a paper planner. You can use a planner online like Google Calendar or Asana, really anything that you want to. But the point here is that you use it to plan out your topics ahead of time. So within your editorial calendar, think about, what are your categories on your blog? So earlier I recommended you have 3 to 5 categories, and you would want to touch on these categories on a pretty consistent basis, at least monthly. So try to touch on your categories on a monthly basis within your editorial calendar. And doing this will make things feel just more organized and structured so that you never have to wonder, okay, what should I do now? Or what should I write about now? Or, oh my goodness, I was supposed to publish a blog post today and completely forgot. So having an editorial calendar means that you've planned everything out ahead of time. You know what you're supposed to write about for the upcoming month, and you don't have to worry about it. Now, what should you include in your blog post to help them stand out online? Because let's face it, there are a lot of blog posts online to compete with. But most bloggers don't really know how to optimize their content in order to get more people to read it. So you're not actually in a bad place if you're creating a blog, even in a saturated niche, because there are certain things that you can do to stand out online that most bloggers just aren't doing. The first is an easy one. Well, it seems easy, but a lot of people don't do it. It's a great title. So a great title states the problem that you're solving and makes it about the reader. What I mean by that is that in your title, you don't want to make the title about you. You want to make it all about your audience. So what that entails is advertising the takeaway or the problem that you're solving right inside the title of your post. So I'll show you some examples in just a second. This also means that your reader immediately knows what they'll get from your post, so they're much more likely to click over and read it because they see the title and they think, oh yeah, that's exactly what I need help with. How often do you search for something on Google and then find a bunch of search results and then click on the one that sounds most similar to the question that you had in your head or the problem that you really need solved? So most people do the same thing where they're going to look at your blog post title and think, does that really solve the problem that I had in my head? Or does it just kind of sound fluffy or unimportant? So you want to make sure that you're creating a title that does solve that problem for people. So things like how to or list posts are great ways to start your title to make sure that it's advertising that takeaway for your readers or it's solving a problem for them. I want to share some examples from my Blog to BizHive students, and this one comes from Brittany, who teaches web design and branding at Branded by Brit. So she's a great example of using awesome titles in her blog images. She's also got some really beautiful images too. So I love this one here. It says 6 ways to make maintaining your website easy, because a lot of people, her audience, think that maintaining their website is really hard and they don't know how to do it themselves. So this is an example of a great list post where she's advertising the takeaway right inside the title of the post. You can also see how she says, and a free checklist. So we're actually going to talk about that in just a few minutes, but she's using that checklist as an opt-in incentive to grow her email list. Now, here's another post that she created, and it's called 12 Reasons to Design Your Creative Business Website with Divi. So she's speaking directly to creative business owners and to people who want to design their own website themselves. And here, 7 must-have plugins for your creative business website. So again, she's speaking right to creative business owners and she's helping them to design their website. So she teaches web design on her blog and she uses it as a vehicle to help other people design their own website. So you can see how all of these posts and titles are really clear as to what you're going to be learning, and they advertise some sort of takeaway or problem that the reader is having that she's going to solve for them. You also want your post to be the right length. So quality over quantity. Now, the sweet spot for me is that once a week, I like to write a blog post that's at least 1,000 words per post. And typically these blog posts are actually more like 1,500 or 2,000 words per post at least. And the reason for that is because I want to write less posts and make them really good. So I used to blog 5 days a week and my posts were like 300 words and they were pretty short. And the reality is that you just can't solve a big problem for someone in such a short amount of words or such a small amount of words. So you need to make sure that you're writing lengthier posts to really hone in on their problem and make sure that you're solving it. Length is also important to search engines and readers. They're looking for posts that are useful and hit on all of their needs, but search engines like Google are also looking at the length of your posts. And if your posts are really short or not really competitive with the other types of blog posts in your niche, then they're not going to rank in Google's search engine, even if people search for those topics that you're talking about in that blog post. So this is also important for search engine optimization to make sure that your content is found in search engines when people search for the topic of your blog post. Number 3 is a takeaway. All of your blog posts should have a takeaway for your reader. Think about what kind of takeaway does this post have, and how is this helping somebody? What will they get out of reading your particular blog post or piece of content? So whenever you create a piece of content, ask yourself a few of these questions. Is this topic going to solve a problem for my target audience or clientele? And how will it help one of their burning struggles? So this is a great question to ask. Or how does this post help me stand out as an authority in my niche? Does it accurately reflect my skills? So maybe instead of simply solving a problem for your audience, you write a post that really helps you to start standing out as an authority or a kind of expert or leader in your niche by really talking about all of these different important topics that your audience should know about. Or how does this post help me make more sales? Does it lead into a sales funnel opt-in? Does it attract potential clients? So with all of these different questions, you want to make sure that you're going in one of these directions, whether it's using your blog post to make more sales or to write about certain topics over and over again so that people start to see you as an expert or authority on that topic, or simply to write blog posts that create an awesome takeaway or solve problems for your audience. You want to make sure that you're hitting on one of those ideas to make sure that your blog is really helpful. Number 4 is great images. So you want to create some themed templates for your images for consistency. And I'll show you an example of some great theme templates in just a second. But this means that when people share your blog images or they come to your website, they'll see similar images in all of your blog posts. Now they'll be different enough because you might use some slightly different colors or different photos or obviously different text on top of the image. But this means that people start to recognize your blog online because you're using the same fonts and same color palette, and they can see that it's this consistent brand. And then you also want to create Pinterest-friendly images, which means that you can share them on Pinterest and use Pinterest as a way to get organic traffic to your website. So Pinterest-friendly images are vertical, they're tall, they have text on top of the image, and they mention the takeaway of the article. So you're really honing in on what is somebody going to get out of reading this post. So I'm going to show you an example of one of my students who does both of these things really, really well. This is Kate, who teaches people how to travel in Hawaii at her blog, Hula Land. So here are some examples of her images. Number 1, you can see that she's really mentioning the takeaway on these posts. It's very clear what problems she's solving in each of these posts and what you're going to get out of reading them. She's also got a consistent brand here. You can see that she tied in that red color with her logo at the bottom, with the circle in that first image, and with the red color on the third image. You can see she's using the same fonts in all of these different images, and that she's using some kind of tropical types of photos or travel photos in every image as well. So your images on your blog don't have to be exactly the same, as you can see with Kate, but they still are similar enough where it's creating that consistent brand. So these are perfect for Pinterest and great for blog posts. Number 5 is your blog posts need an opt-in incentive. So this way your content grows your email list too. Now, opt-in incentives are basically just freebies that your audience will get if they sign up for your email list after reading your blog post. And this is the number 1 tactic that I've used to grow my own email list to over 100,000 subscribers. I simply wrote a bunch of blog posts, made them really good, used all the tips that I just shared, and then I included an opt-in incentive at the bottom of my post that was related to the blog post that they just read. So if they just read a post about a certain topic, there would be a freebie that they could opt in for and get straight to their email if they just signed up with their email address and name. So you might be asking, well, what kind of incentive can I offer in order to grow my list? So here are some examples. You could offer a cheat sheet. covering the most important points in the post. So you could basically just create a recap or an outline of what you just talked about in your blog post, but make it something where they can easily print it off and keep with them at their desk or in their kitchen or wherever it is that they would be using it. Or a worksheet. So help them dig into what they just learned from your blog post and really get them to take action on what they learned. You could also do a printable list, like a shopping list, if maybe you're a food blogger or a fashion blogger. You can also make a list of steps that they can print out and check off that they've done each step, something like that. And an alternative is that instead of creating a specific opt-in incentive for every blog post, because I know you're busy, you could create one incentive for each of your categories, so those 3 to 5 categories on your blog, and then just reuse them every time you create a new post within that category. So these incentives, if you use the alternative route, would be a little bit more general so that they would fit in with any type of post in that particular category. But doing this means that you're going to be able to grow your list much more quickly and that you're maximizing the amazing blog content you're already creating in order to grow your email list and community. Because the last thing you want is to spend all this time creating amazing content, getting people to your website, only for them to read your post and then never come back again. You want to give them a way to sign up to your email list so that you know that they will be back and that you're able to contact them through email whenever you want to. So the point is, when somebody reads your blog post, they then sign up for your email list. Now you might be saying, hold up, can you remind me why my email list is important? I sure can. Well, you own your following with your email list. No algorithm or company can take it from you. It's very different from social media platforms where you're at the mercy of their algorithms or even just the companies themselves. With an email list, you get a spreadsheet of everyone's name, an email address, and you can contact them whenever you want to. You also can build a stronger relationship with your audience. I know for me, if I see someone's Instagram post, I might like it and it might interest me, but if I see an email from that person in my inbox, it just feels way more personal. And I'm more likely to read it because it's coming to me in my sacred inbox. I think we all kind of think of our inboxes as this sacred place. So it's coming to me in my personal inbox, and I'm much more likely to read it because I just care about the subject more, rather than an Instagram or Facebook post where it's so easy to just scroll on through and not really be affected by that piece of content. People who sign up for your email list and read your emails are also statistically way more likely to buy from you. And I'm going to show you some formulas in just a second to show you why that's true. And it just ensures that more people see your content. So on social media platforms, very small percentage of the people who follow you actually ever see your content. But like I mentioned with an email list, when you send emails, people will get it in their inbox. And there's usually people sign up for less emails and newsletters than they do when following people on social media. So you have less people to compete with in somebody's inbox, and it ensures that you can contact them whenever you want to. Like if something important is coming up or you really need your audience to see an email that you send to them. So let's compare. If you have 1,000 Instagram followers, then statistics show you would get 20 to 50 likes per post on average. And I actually consulted with a top social media manager who works with celebrities and told me that this is the average engagement rate on Instagram. He said 2 to 5% is the average rate that you can expect. And most people fall much closer to 2 to 3%. 5% is almost like crazy if you have that level of engagement. So think about it. You're growing an Instagram following of 1,000 people, and 2 to 5% of those people are engaging with your content. That's not a lot of people. Or if you create an email list and you have 1,000 email subscribers, so the same number of people, well, statistics show that 200 to 400 of those people would open your emails because the average open rate for email lists and emails is 20 to 40%, which is the highest of anything that you could do to contact your subscribers or your followers of any sort. So that's the biggest reason, or one of the biggest reasons, why your email list is so important, because it gives you the opportunity to connect with your audience more than almost any platform out there. So let's also do some math here, because I know that a lot of you are interested in earning an income from your blog as well. And you might be thinking, how does my email list factor into earning an income from my blog and my website? Well, I can tell you that my email list is absolutely the most important piece in earning an income from my own website. If I didn't have my email list, then my business would be much, much smaller and things would be very different. So there's some formulas that you can use in order to predict how much you need to grow your email list and how much you can sell an online course for, and then how much money you would make from those things based on average email list conversion rates. So a conversion rate, as you can see here, is the percentage of people who open and read your emails and then end up buying your product. So average conversion rates are 1 to 3%. People who buy, not people who open your email, but people who buy your product after opening your email. 1 to 3%. It might sound really low, but it's still way higher than anything else out there, much, much higher than the conversion rates on social media. So let's say your email list is 500 people, 500 subscribers, and your conversion rate will just take the average of 1 to 3% and just do 2% here. And let's say that you launch a course for $197, which is on the lower end of course prices. It's a pretty inexpensive course compared to most courses out there. So you could definitely charge more for your course, but I wanted to show you something that's a little bit more introductory. So that means that you could earn $2,000 from your course with only a 500-person email list, which you could get that many subscribers in a matter of weeks with the right strategies. Well, let's say that you grow your list to 2,000 people, which honestly you could do in just a month or two, again, with the right strategies. Well, if you do the 2% conversion rate, so 2% of 2,000 people times $197 would be almost $8,000. Can you imagine making that on a consistent basis from a 2,000 person email list? Or 6,000 people. And I use this number because when I launched my first course, I waited way too long to launch it. When I launched my first course, after growing my email list for just a few months, I used the right strategies. My email list started growing really quickly, and I was able to get to 6,000 subscribers in a matter of 3 or 4 months. So I launched my first online course, had a 2% conversion rate. My course was about $197. And in that single month, I earned over $23,000. And this is something that all came together in just a matter of a few months of growing my list, creating a course, and launching it to my audience. So now that you understand your email list importance, let's talk about some email list essentials. So first of all, how often should you email your list? I recommend weekly. And why weekly? Well, the reason is because if you email any less than that, then your subscribers might end up forgetting about you. And I know you create amazing content. I know you're a wonderful, intelligent, creative person, but they'll still forget about you, unfortunately, if you're not in contact with them consistently enough. So you definitely don't want to email them monthly, but you may get by if you're getting started with emailing just twice a month, so every couple of weeks. But weekly is important just so that you can stay top of mind for your subscribers and so that they don't ever think like, who is this person? I forget ever signing up for this email list. I'm just going to unsubscribe and report it as spam. You want them to really build that connection with you and to recognize your emails in their inbox every week. And when should you start emailing your subscribers? I think as soon as you get your first subscriber. So get into the habit of sending weekly emails, even if you have a really small list right now, because the more you nurture your list, the stronger of a community you'll end up building. When I started my website, I didn't have, or when I started my email list, I didn't have very many subscribers for a long time, but I was still sending weekly emails and I ended up creating a really strong community of people. And later on, when I eventually launched my online course, that paid off in spades because I was able to earn so much money from that course because of the community I'd been nurturing for months. And you also never know if that one subscriber, that one person will become a future customer or lifelong fan. So everyone is important on your email list. These are real people who are reading your emails. And the big question, what should you send to your list? So let's cover some ideas. All right, so idea number one is an intro to a recent blog post. So remember, just because you publish something on your site doesn't mean your audience will see it. So an idea here is to share one tip from your blog post, but then link to the full article for more. So your email would just be that one tip, and maybe you'd kind of tell a story about the blog post and then share a special tip that you talked about in that blog post, but then tell your newsletter subscribers, hey, if you want 4 more tips or you want the full story, then click here to read more. And that will send people to your blog content. Because just simply publishing something on your blog doesn't mean that your email subscribers, your Instagram followers, or any of your other social media followers will actually see it. So it's important to share it with your audience and especially your email list. Another example is a lesson you recently learned. So think about what's something that's been on your mind or that you recently went through that's relevant to your business. How can you share that in a way where your audience gets a takeaway from it? They get a lesson learned from you and can apply that to their own stuff related to whatever it is that you talk about on your blog. And allow yourself to open up if you want to build a community. Now, of course, this is optional, but I've found that the more I open up as a person and share some lessons learned, things that I've overcome related to my particular topic and things that I'm teaching on my website, the more that I do that, the more my community opens up too, and the more I've created that deeper connection with the people that I serve. So an idea is to share something that you recently struggled with as inspiration for your audience. So don't just talk about something you struggled with. Make sure that there's a takeaway for the people that you're serving and send that in an email. You could also share some quick tips. So maybe you share a few tips or strategies related to a certain topic. And bonus points if this topic is related to your future course or product topic too. So think, what are a few little tips that I can share about a certain topic? Almost like a mini blog post, but something that you can share in an email. So share 3 tips about a topic that would be helpful for your readers. Or you could share myths and misconceptions about what you teach. So think, what myths does your audience believe about your topic? What do they believe about becoming a vegan? What myths do they believe about starting an Etsy shop? What myths do they believe about online marketing? So help them to see the light and really dispel those myths and make sure that they understand the right way to think about this topic. So an idea here is discuss a misconception about your topic and why it's wrong. So this is a great thing to send in an email because it helps to shift the mindset of your subscribers. And you can also talk about news about something that's coming up. So email's the perfect place to do this, where if you're teaching a live webinar or you're hosting a Facebook Live, or you want to start a hashtag on Instagram and you want your audience to start using it too, then use your email list to keep them in the loop because it's the best way to contact your audience. As you saw earlier, the open rates are much higher than any social media platform. So it's likely that you'll reach more of your audience through email than anywhere else. And it also gets people to take action. So if you're doing anything where you need people to register, you want them to show up somewhere, send an email. So an idea could be to share a story and then invite them to your event, like a Facebook Live that you're doing on your Facebook page. So here's what your full content system looks like. You figure out your niche to set yourself apart. You create content that helps your audience in that niche. You use that content to grow your email list, and then you send emails to your list to grow trust and authority. So I'm all about priorities, my friend. I don't like to do things unless they feel like they're going to get me to the goals and vision that I have for my business and my life. And there's a lot of fluff that you might hear about online or things that seem important, but actually don't really help you get closer to your goals. Well, I can tell you that if you want to grow a community online or if you want to earn a full-time income from your blog, these steps are absolutely crucial. You need to be doing these steps in some form in order to create a community and to make money from your blog. So I like to just think to reduce the overwhelm, focus on these priorities, and cut out the rest of the stuff that's not really getting you closer to your goals. So that's great, right? We've got the content system. We know how to rock that. But what else needs to happen, especially if you want to turn this into a full-time income? Well, you need more traffic. So if people aren't seeing your content, then you can't grow your tribe or authority in your niche. So even if you've got great content, if people aren't seeing it, then there's not much you can do. So you need strategies to grow your traffic that are working now. You also want to grow your email list more and more. So the more you grow your list with the right people, the more you'll be able to grow your income as well. So like you saw earlier with those formulas we went through, as you could see, when you grow your email list, you just end up making a bigger income and impact with your blog. And then launch a course to your audience. So courses, in my opinion, are the best business model, the best thing to sell if you are a blogger. Because think about it, you're already growing a community from the information you share. Why not make money from your knowledge, from what's already inside of your head as well? You want to make sure that you're picking a business model that's working now, today, not something that worked years and years ago, but something that's really working today and something that's perfect for bloggers. And in my opinion and experience, that is creating an online course. All right, sounds great, but where do I learn how to do all of those things and in a way that isn't overwhelming because you have enough on your plate, isn't time consuming because maybe you have a full-time job, or is not hard to understand because you're tired of trying to piece together your strategy from random articles that you found on Google and you need something that's step-by-step and straightforward? Well, I want to introduce you to Blog to BizHive. Blog to BizHive is a step-by-step formula and online program that helps bloggers increase their traffic, grow their email list, and launch a wildly successful online course to their audience. Now, what will you learn in Blog to BizHive? Well, the first step is growing your traffic. So we have an entire module about every step in this process. So you'll learn how to use Pinterest and Google SEO, search engine optimization, to grow your traffic for free. You'll also be able to analyze your analytics to find your best growth opportunities. And I'm even talking about other traffic growth strategies like collaborations and things along those lines. Step 2 is you set up your email list systems. So thinking about how do you create the perfect opt-in incentive to grow your list, or the one sequence that every single new subscriber should get, especially if you want your audience to fall in love with you and eventually buy your products, and how to create a stellar weekly newsletter. So we talk about all of the different facets and things that go into setting up your email list. And then in step 3, we have an entire module about how to rapidly grow your email list with the right subscribers. So now that you have traffic coming in and your email list systems are set up, it's time to grow. So you'll learn in-depth strategies to help you grow your email list quickly. And these are strategies that are working today, not things that were working 4 years ago, but things that my students are using right now to this day to be able to grow their email lists quickly. Step 4 is about how to map out your profitable online course. So I'll teach you how to make money from your course before you even create it, and also things like how to come up with a course idea, how to outline your course, name your course, and pick the perfect price, among plenty of other things. So everything that goes into mapping out your online course is covered in this module. And then step 5 is where you'll build and publish your course for sale. So I'll show you how to record and edit your course on your computer, how to upload it to your course website and which website to use, and how to start making sales from your course. I'll also show you how to craft a sales page that actually gets people to buy, because you need to have the right strategy with things like your sales page and how to even record and edit your course. So you'll learn how to do all of that in this module. And then the final module is step 6, how to make major sales of your course. And this is everything that you need to know in order to have a massively successful course launch. So things like how to use bonuses, how to write sales emails, how to do a webinar, and marketing strategies to really blow your launch goals out of the water. Plus, there's also tons of tech trainings, so you'll never feel lost. This isn't the type of course where I just tell you, here's something that you should do, and then never explain how to actually do it. It's the kind of course where I hold your hand through the whole thing and really show you step by step how to grow your audience and make money from your blog. Now, it sounds too good to be true. How do I know this will actually work? And I totally get it if you're asking yourself this right now. Well, I want to introduce you to some of my students who have gone through Blog to BizHive and have gotten incredible results from this course. So this is Allie. She's a yoga blogger and instructor online. She launched her first course actually earlier this year about yoga and meditation. And she earned nearly $70,000 from her course in just 2 weeks. And Allie said, because of Blog to BizHive, I absolutely killed it during my launch and turned my yoga blog into a yoga business. I quit my day job, and now my hubby and I are planning to buy a sailboat and run our business around the world. I couldn't have done it without your guidance. Now, this is Rachel. She's a food photography teacher. She grew her list from 200 to 2,500 subscribers. She launched her first course about how to edit your food photographs and earned $11,875 in literally 2 days, just the first 2 days of her launch from her online course. Now, Rachel said 74 people signed up to my course in the first 2 days. 74. I never imagined that I could do all this. My niche is food photography, and I just never thought I would see results like this or that this many people would believe in my idea. How would it feel if you were writing that about your course launch? So shocked and excited that it went this well. And then there are Cassie and Shay, who are work and travel course creators. They teach people how to travel the world while working remotely. So they actually told me that they took another course that taught them how to create and launch their own course before coming to me and taking Blog to BizHive. And after taking that course, they had 2 failed launches. So they didn't feel like they had learned the right strategies to really launch their course successfully. And that's when they enrolled in Blog to BizHive. And then their next launch, they earned $18,000. And their next launch after that, using even more of the strategies from Blog to BizHive, they earned over $100,000 just a few months later. Kind of insane if you think about it. And it really shows me that with just the right tweaks, your course and your blog can really start to earn a significant income online. And then there's also Mindy, who's an art blogger. She grew her list to 2,500 people and earned $3,000 from her course about drawing. And Lloyd, a finance blogger, who grew his email list from 300 to 1,800 subscribers within 8 weeks of joining Blog to BizHive. And Elizabeth, a productivity blogger, who grew her traffic to 30,000 monthly page views in just 4 months. And Anya, who said, this is the only course I recommend to my fellow colleagues, clients, and friends who want to have a blog, a business, or create a community. Plus, there are so many more case studies. You can find them all at blogtobizhive.com. And as for me, well, like I told you in the beginning, my blog has completely transformed my life. It's helped me to grow a very successful business. It's helped me to grow a team that supports me with my business. And it's helped me have the freedom and the life that I want to have by simply starting a blog as a foundation for everything. So are you ready to get started? Well, click this button that you should see on your screen now in order to enroll. And when you enroll in Blog to Biz Hive, you're also going to get over $1,500 in bonuses as well. So I like to support and surprise my students with a lot of extras and bonuses. So the first bonus you're going to get are some pro design blog post and opt-in incentive templates. Now this is a $197 value. My personal designer created all of these, and this is a fraction of everything you'll get. This, with everything you would get, doesn't even fit in the photo. So we just showed you a few of them that you would get, but you'll get social media templates, blog post templates, worksheet templates, ebook templates, and you'll get them in Canva and Photoshop and InDesign. So regardless of what format you like to create your designs in, you'll be able to use them really easily. So this is a great way for you to be able to create beautiful images without having to have a design background or anything like that. Now, the second bonus are the launch planning masterclass and schedules. So this is my personal project manager who helps me plan out my launches and really organize and keep track of them. So she's going to be teaching a live class telling you how we plan and organize our launches. And I've also created a PDF to give you an exact schedule of what a beginner launch looks like for maybe your first course launch, and then a more advanced launch looks like for a bigger launch that you want to do in the future. Bonus number 3 are plug and play 10-part launch emails. So what this means is that when you launch a course, you're going to want to send some emails to your list talking about the course. And within these emails, this 10-part email sequence, you're going to get the exact emails that I write and that you can send to your audience in order to make sales of your course without being salesy. So I give you things that you should include in your email. I write a lot of the email for you. So it's very just plug and play, kind of like Mad Libs for your email sequence. Bonus number 4 is a hand-selected accountability partner. So we'll pair you up with someone else in the course to make sure you have that accountability with somebody else who's going through Blog to Biz Hive and that you can check in with on a weekly basis and feel really supported in that way. We've also got some guidelines and things for you to go through with your accountability partner so that it's really structured. And so you don't just get on a call together and say, well, what do we do now? It's a structured program so that you actually have that real accountability with another person. And I've heard from some of my students who have said that this alone is worth the price of the course, that they've met their best friend through their accountability partner, that they meet up in person and that they finally feel like they've got that real support from other people. And bonus number 5 is a members-only Facebook community. So in addition to the accountability partner, you'll also be part of an online community on Facebook that you can come into, ask questions of, and find your people online to really help you with starting and growing your blog. And the total value of the course and the bonuses is almost $2,500. It's a lot of stuff that you're getting, basically everything you need to create a successful, profitable, bustling blog. But I'm not going to make you pay $2,500. You can actually get started today for just $197. So we've got a payment plan with 6 payments of $197. You can get started, get all the bonuses and access to the entire course for just $197 today, or you can pay in full for 1 payment of $997. Now, if you're ready to get started, click that blue button that you should be seeing on your screen right now to enroll in the course and get all the bonuses. But I also wanted to reward you for coming to this webinar because not everyone signed up for this webinar who I know is interested in the course, but you did, and you came and you showed up live, which says a lot about you. So I've got a couple extra bonuses just for you. So if you enroll while we're live, before we sign off this live workshop today, then I'm throwing in 2 more bonuses for free. And if you're watching the replay, I'm so sorry, but this is just for people who showed up live today. Now, those 2 bonuses are impressive ads. So this is a course created by my personal Facebook ads manager, Andrew Hubbard, who has helped me earn over $1 million in sales from Facebook ads alone. He's going to show you in this course how to use Facebook ads to grow your email list and increase sales of your online course. It's super comprehensive. He was very generous in creating this course for us, and it really walks you through the tech stuff and the strategy behind Facebook ads. And you're going to get the Getting Started guide for bloggers. So maybe you're a brand new blogger and you're thinking, am I really prepared to take this course? Am I really prepared to go through Blog to Biz Hive if I'm starting at zero? Well, the answer is in this bonus, where if you're really just getting started and you need help with picking your niche, creating content, picking your website platform, the Getting Started guide will walk you through all of those different things. And then you can really use Blog to Biz Hive to just launch yourself on the right foot with your blog. So the total value with all of those extra bonuses added in is almost $3,000 with all of those different things. And I genuinely believe in this value that if we sold all of these different courses separately, which we could do, but I just like giving them to you because I really want you to succeed, we could make this much money by selling them separately. But I like to bundle them all up and really give you everything you need in one place to get to where you want to go with your blog and online business. And we've got a special little thing. So if you pay in full, we're doing something new this year. We'll even send you a special snail mail package straight to your house. So you just have to pay in full in order to get this. But this is a special little something. We're creating some fun gifts for our Blog to Biz Hive students who pay in full. I've also got a 30-day money-back guarantee because I believe in this program so much that I'm giving you an entire month to go through the course and all the bonuses risk-free. And if you don't love the program, we'll give you a full refund, no hassle, no problem. I want you to be able to try the course and see if it's a good fit for you. I have a feeling you'll love it, but I want you to feel secure and comfortable with that decision. Now, tell me if any of this sounds familiar. You want to turn your blog into a profitable full-time business so you can work from home, be creative, and quit your unfulfilling day job. Or maybe you'd like structure, accountability, and easy steps that you can follow to achieve your full potential online. And you know that you need more traffic and subscribers, as well as a proven formula for creating and launching courses. And lastly, you want to impact the world and help people with your blog and community. You know that you were meant for big things in life. Well, if that sounds like you, then I'll see you inside Blog to Biz Hive. So I'm going to start a little timer right now. And as you can see, there's a list of all of the different things that you get when you enroll in Blog to Biz Hive, including, of course, the entire program, Blog to Biz Hive itself. So just a reminder here, the fast action bonuses, the impressive ads course and the Getting Started guide for bloggers, those expire when we sign off of this workshop. So when we sign off, we're not live anymore. I'm going to start a timer right here and we'll do some Q&A. So if you had any questions from the workshop or you have any questions about Blog to Biz Hive, I am happy to answer those questions for you now. And we'll do that for the next 15 minutes or so. So make sure that if you're interested in signing up for Blog to Biz Hive, you do that before the timer runs out so you get those extra bonuses. All right. So Joanne asks about Blog to Biz Hive. Is this purchase a one-time cost or is this a yearly membership program? This is a one-time cost. So if you do the payment plan, then you'll have payments for 6 months. But then after that, you're completely finished. And if you do the pay in full option, then that's it. You get everything, never make a payment again. So it's not a yearly membership. It's simply a one-time payment. Sade says, can you do Blog to Biz Hive even if you don't have an email list, or would you recommend to wait? Good question. And I get a lot of questions like this, like questions from people who say, I'm brand new to blogging, or I haven't even started my blog yet, or I don't even know what I'd create a course about, or like Sade, I don't have an email list. And the point that I want to make is that the course, the program, Blog to Biz Hive, is designed to help you get to that point where you have an email list. So it's designed to help you grow your traffic to your blog posts and then to grow your email list. So whether you're starting at zero with your email list, with your community, or if you've already got some subscribers already, Blog to Biz Hive will just either help you get started on the right foot and really start to grow more quickly than you would if you had to figure it all out yourself. Or if you've already got some subscribers, you've got people on your list already, then it will help you to just grow that much more quickly and give you strategies that are working today. So Trina asks, how much personal attention do Melissa and her staff give to those who sign up for Blog to Biz Hive? So we do have our private Facebook group where me and my staff are part of that group. We've got 2 community managers who are inside of that group who are trained to answer your questions. They've got amazing answers where they'll point you in the right direction in order to help you. And then there's also, I think, close to 1,000 people inside of that group, people who have taken Blog to Biz Hive, people like Cassie and Shay or Allie or Rachel, who have had really successful launches of their courses and have grown their blog. So you're not just surrounded by me. And I created the course, obviously, it's my knowledge, but I don't like to be the only person with the answers because I know there's so many other people who have amazing answers and successes. So it's not just me answering questions, it's all of these other people and our community managers there to help you and answer your questions and guide you on your journey. So you will feel very supported in the group. Amanda asks, great question. Does Blog to Biz Hive help with solidifying your niche and identifying what your course could be about? Yes, it actually helps with both of those things. There are videos to help you learn about those exact topics. So the first video, I think, in the course is about really digging into how do you define your niche and making sure that you feel like, okay, I've got this exact thing that I want to be known for that I'm going to create my blog about. And then we've also got videos and an entire module to help you come up with your course idea and then plan out what exactly will go inside of your course. So yes, if you're unsure about those things right now, then you will feel very supported inside Blog to Biz Hive. Amanda says, will Blog to Biz Hive be available again soon, or is it just available for sign up right now? So we open it about once a year. The last time we opened it was last December. So we don't have plans to open it for a long time. It's something that we just do once a year. So even if you feel right now like you are just getting started or you're not sure, I would still say sign up for the course. There's a 30-day guarantee policy that you can try it with and get a refund if you so choose. But I have a feeling you'll really love the course and will be glad that you didn't wait an entire year to dive in the next time we open enrollment. Alicia says, what do you think about having 2 different blogs and different niches because you have 2 passions? Okay, great question. I'm glad you're thinking about splitting up those topics. What I would do, first of all, yes, you can totally do that. But what I would do is start with one blog and really master that blog, crank out your blog posts, start growing your traffic, get an email list, and create a profit from that blog by launching an online course and kind of make it so that it's sustainable and you've got this business running, the blog is doing well. And then at that point, create your second blog. What I wouldn't suggest doing is creating those blogs simultaneously and trying to grow them at the same time, because it's just going to end up stunting your growth. And it might even lead to burnout because you're just overwhelmed with all of the different things that you need to be doing for both of those blogs. So I would say start with one, make it awesome, and then move on to the next one. So Carol asks, how do you create an online course for a lifestyle blog? So my suggestion would actually be that you don't, and instead that you pick a more specific niche for your blog, because lifestyle is an amazing niche to have as a hobby. It's really fun. You're able to share all of these different passions and interests, and you can connect to people based on a lot of different things, and it's creative. But it's not the best for really creating and turning into a business. And you might see some really famous lifestyle bloggers and think, well, that's wrong because there's other people that are earning money as lifestyle bloggers and they're doing it really well. But the point I want to make is that those people are kind of anomalies. They're outliers in this grand scheme of things. And it's hard to do that and make it into a really successful business. Maybe you'll be one of those people, but, and I say this lovingly, most likely not. And you don't want to rely on something that might not happen. What I like to suggest is that you instead narrow your niche a little bit more. And like Alicia said, you can create another blog in the future on another topic. But for now, narrow your niche more and really attract a more specific audience, and then turn that into a profitable business. And then if you want to create other blogs in the future, once you've got this one rocking, then you can completely do that. But I would say I wouldn't do that until you've got one rocking and rolling. Okay. So Rachel says, how do you find the time for planning, writing, optimizing, creating images, social media posting, and running the actual business? So if you are at the point where you've got a full-time business, your blog is making a good amount of income, then you're kind of getting to a different level where you want to start hiring maybe a virtual assistant to work a few hours a week who would end up scheduling all of that stuff for you, making those social media images using the templates that you'd get as a bonus perhaps, and having some support. So that's kind of the next step after you take Blog to BizHive. So there are some people who have taken the course and now have really successful businesses, and they're definitely in that place where they're starting to hire people. They've got people working for them with their blog. And that's what I would recommend for that you don't try to do it all, and instead you start hiring other people to help you when you get to that point. Before then it's more manageable and you're able to do it yourself. But once it's a profitable full-time business and you're feeling stretched too much, then you can hire an assistant. Amazing questions, by the way. So just to let you know, we've got about 6 minutes left before the fast action bonuses expire. So make sure that if you're interested in getting those, you sign up for Blog to BizHive before the timer runs out in order to get those fast action bonuses. So we will keep answering questions. You've got some great questions so far. Keep answering questions until the timer runs out. Okay. Great question. So Cynthia says, where and how are you getting the people to even come to your blog to subscribe? Amazing question. So that's why the entire first module of Blog to BizHive is about growing your traffic organically using Pinterest, Google, search engine optimization, and collaborative traffic growth strategies. So I love that you asked it, because I think it's so important, because you're right. You can't just create blog content, create opt-in incentives, and then hope that people come to your website, because it doesn't really work like that. You have to incorporate strategies that are working now in order to get those people to come to your website in the first place. And there's ways that you can optimize your content, that you can optimize your Pinterest profile, and ways that you can collaborate with other people in order to grow your traffic organically, which means for free. So that, I hope, answers your question, where it's just a matter of using the right traffic growth strategies in addition to writing and creating your free blog content. So Jessica says, should I grow my following before attempting to sell a product? My answer is yes. So if you sell a product before growing an audience or an email list, then you can do that, but you may just not make any sales of that product, or maybe just not very many. So what you would want to do instead is create an email list, start growing a little bit of an audience, and then launch your product, which is exactly why Blog to BizHive is set up in that order, where module 1 shows you how to grow your traffic. Modules 2 and 3 show you how to set up and then grow your email list. And then modules 4, 5, and 6 show you how to create and launch a course. It's in the exact order that I recommend going through in these different steps so that you have everything you need for the next step, if that makes sense. So Mark says, if I pay with the $197 now, can I change to the one-time payment later today so I can move some money around and still get the pay in full bonuses and the 18% discount? Yes, you can do that. If you are able to do that before enrollment closes, then that's totally fine. Mark also says, how long does it take to go through the course? So it really depends on how much time you have and that you're willing to put into it. If you spend, like if you wake up early before work, or if you come home and you watch the videos, then you could really finish the course in a week, right? But it's a matter of also implementing everything that you learn inside of the course. So what I like to tell people is that if you spend 30 minutes a day, or if that kind of equates to 2 to 3 hours per week, or maybe a little bit more than that, if you spend that much time going through the course and implementing, then you could really have a bustling blog, a growing email list, and the platform to launch an online course in about 8 weeks. Some students do it in far less time. Others take a little bit more just because they've got other obligations going on in their life. But the kind of important point to make is that if you didn't have those steps, if you didn't know kind of the direction that you were headed or the priorities you should be working on, it would take much longer because you would have to kind of fiddle around with all of these different things and not be sure that you're doing the right things to get ahead. With Blog to Biz Hive, I only include the things that are important for you to know in order to get to that next level with your blog so that you can hit your goals as quickly as possible. Oh, amazing. So Joanne just commented, the private Facebook group for Blog to Biz Hive students is so, with like 7 O's, so supportive, and all share a great deal. Very energetic, sharing, and active group. Amazing, Joanne. I'm so glad to hear that. So for the person who asked earlier about support, there you go. Okay, so just to let you know, we've got about a minute left. I know we've still got a good amount of questions and a lot of people who are still sticking around here. So that's amazing that you're all still on live with me. I love it. I might actually stay on for a little bit longer than 30 more seconds because I want to make sure I get as many of your questions answered as possible. So a few things that I get asked a lot about the course that I just want to go through is, do you have lifetime access to the course? Yes, absolutely. So you can buy the course now and go through it whenever you want. You have lifetime access to the course and all of the modules and bonuses. What is the refund policy? So you have 30 days to request a refund if you so choose to. Most of our students just love the course and don't ever need a refund. But if that's something you're worried about, or you want to make sure that there's that guarantee in place, then we've got you covered. And then what format does the course come in? Like, how am I teaching all of this stuff inside of the course? Well, in Blog to Biz Hive, every module has several different videos that you can watch, kind of like what we talked about in this webinar, or the format that it was in, where it was a slideshow and I was presenting and teaching. So we've got videos for you to watch. There are lots and lots of workbooks that are really fun to fill out and really help you hone in on everything. There's transcriptions. So if you like to read as you're watching the videos, then you can do that as well. So there's a lot of different ways to access the content inside of Blog to Biz Hive. Okay, so a few more questions here. I know the timer ran out, but I'm just going to keep going because why not? So Anna says, what is the best plugin for sending newsletters and weekly emails? So the one that I recommend to my Blog to Biz Hive students is called ConvertKit. It's one of the lesser expensive email service providers, like forgot what they're called, email service providers that you can use in order to send emails and collect emails, like collect email addresses and then send them to your email list. It's one of the lesser expensive, but it has a lot of really good features in it that I think it covers pretty much everything you would need in an email service provider in order to send emails to your list, create opt-in forms, create email sequences, and it's very user-friendly. So ConvertKit is a really great one to use. So Rosario says, what was your first course about? So I actually have two first courses, if that makes any sense at all. When I first started my blog in 2013, it was very much about self-development and kind of teaching people how to become their best selves. So when I started my blog then, I actually created a course in that first year of blogging. Now, the problem was that I didn't have an email list at the time. So I had no way to really sell it very well. So it didn't make a ton of sales. I think it made about $1,500. But that course was called Everyday Happy, and it was designed to help women become their best selves, to work through any limiting beliefs, and to work on having just joyful days and becoming their best selves. So that was my first course in 2013. Then I took a hiatus from creating courses for a couple of years because I just didn't know what I was doing wrong. I tried launching that course, didn't go that well. And I felt like it was a lot of work because I was piecing together all these strategies and just felt overwhelmed. But 2 years later, I started using different strategies and really formulated this system to create a course, launch it, and grow my email list. So like I mentioned earlier in the workshop, I had about 6,000 subscribers at that point, which is way too many for your first launch. You should launch much sooner than that. I think I waited too long is what I mean. And that course was about using Pinterest to grow your traffic and email list. So that course was launched a couple of years ago, and it went much better than the first one, largely because I had grown an email list and a community of people, and because I was much better and understood what went into creating a course. And it's a lot of what I teach in Blog to Biz Hive now, but even better because that was 2 years ago, and I've learned a whole lot since then. So you get to learn everything that I've learned in terms of what really goes into growing an audience and creating and selling an online course. Kate says, our course is the only way to monetize your content now. They're not the only way. So you could still use things like ads, sponsored posts, affiliate marketing, or services, but in my opinion, they're the best way. So not the only way, but the best way, because a lot of those things are outdated and they're just not going to bring you very much money, especially for how much work you would have to put in to get the amount of traffic you would need in order to make money from those other outlets and mediums. But if you wanted to create an online course and sell that to your audience, it's much quicker and easier to make a full-time income and start really scaling your business with online courses. So it's not the only way to make money from your content, but I personally think it's the best way. And in my own experience, it's definitely delivered the most profitability and freedom for me and my business. All right, I'll take a couple more questions here. I know we've still got a lot coming in, and then we'll sign off. So make sure if you want those fast action bonuses that you sign up before we sign off live today. So C asks, is Sales Funnel Accelerator available for sale? So Sales Funnel Accelerator is not available for sale, unfortunately. Okay. Lauren says, do you think this is a good course for intermediate bloggers, maybe already working through developing their first course? I do, actually. I think the question is, do you want to grow a bigger audience? Do you want to make sure that your course is launched successfully? Do you want to make sure that you're including things in your course and in the creation of it that will make sure that your audience actually loves it and really shares it with their friends? So I like to think, is there something I could get out of this course that would earn me back that money in less time or with less overwhelm. So I feel like for you, you would be able to do that really significantly by creating your course and then utilizing the strategies in here to make sure you've got the audience, that you're growing that, and that you launch your course in a really successful, profitable way. Okay, so, ah, so Madi says, it seems like most courses out there teach people how to make money online. Do other courses do well? So I totally get that. And I hear that a lot. And I don't know why. I think I hear that a lot because the people who are saying that are people who want to make money online. So they're searching for how to make money online. And because you're here, Madi, I feel like that kind of means that you are interested in the topic of making money online, starting an online business. So you see a lot of people doing that because you're searching for it and you're interested in learning about it. But for other people who are interested in like healthy eating or people who are interested in like candle making or something, they're not seeing that, right? They don't see a bunch of courses about how to make money online. They see courses about how to eat right or how to make candles. I don't know. I have a candle in front of me. So excuse me for the weird suggestion or idea there. But the reason that you're seeing that so much is because it's what you're searching for yourself. So consider that there are people in all kinds of niches and industries that are creating courses right now, but you might just not be searching for content in those niches or industries. Maybe you're not interested in a vegan lifestyle, so you've never seen a vegan course. Or maybe you're not interested in interior decorating, so you've never seen a course about interior design, but they totally exist. And all of the examples that I gave you earlier of Ali, who's a yoga blogger who made $70,000 from her blog, or Rachel, who teaches people how to take better photos of their food for their food blog. They've all created really successful online courses in very different niches that have nothing to do with making money online. So I feel like that's a myth, and I totally understand why it exists because that's what we're searching for in our interests. But there is so much possibility to create a course in other niches and to really even take over certain industries with your course, because maybe there's not that many vegan courses. Who knows? Or maybe there's not that many candle making courses. I don't know. But that means that you could come in and create a course that just dominates and gets all of those people interested in that subject. And kind of similar question, Mark says, can I create a successful online course about mindset training based on positive psychology concepts? Absolutely. I think that is an amazing course idea. And if you grow an audience around those topics of people who are interested in positive psychology, people who want to work through their limiting beliefs, work on their mindset, then you can absolutely create and sell an online course to those people. I kind of want to take it. It sounds awesome. Okay. I think. Oh, okay. So Aries says, what's the difference between the graphics pack bonus that you get here and then the DIY course creator templates that are an optional add-on if you enroll in Blog to BizHive? So the graphics pack is opt-in incentive templates. So it has an ebook template and a worksheet template, and then it has a lot of blog post images and social media templates. So it's all stuff to help you create awesome content and grow your email list. The DIY course creator templates. So if you enroll in Blog to BizHive, these will be an optional add-on that you can purchase if you want to. Those templates are for launching your course. So those are webinar slide templates, course slide templates, and then Facebook ad templates and social media promotional templates. So it's a bit different. The ones you get as a bonus here when you enroll in Blog to BizHive are free templates to help you grow your content and email list. And then the other ones that are the optional add-on are designed to help you create your course and then launch it to your audience. So hopefully that makes sense there. Okay, everybody. Amazing questions. So many questions. I loved answering them. I hope you got a lot out of this workshop. I'll actually stop sharing now so that I can come back and see you. Okay, there we go. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and expect a follow-up email from me where you can watch a recording of this too if you so choose to do that, if you want to rewatch it or anything like that. And I hope I see you at my next workshop. So have an awesome day. If you enrolled in Blog to Biz Hive, welcome to the course. So excited to have you in there. I hope you absolutely love it and get so much out of the course and bonuses. And if you want to enroll, there's still time. You can click the button on your screen or go to blogtobizhive.com. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.